Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
Why did this happen again? Why do we both have colds? He's perky and I'm coughing and sneezing, just like last year. Like I didn't learn my lesson. Like if you take NyQuil at night, you can have a good morning. Why? Because last night I was going to take NyQuil, but he got to it first. And guess what happened? So he got relief and I didn't. So he got rest and I didn't.
Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
Man, Steve, I don't know. I think you really changed my mind about Scott Stapp. Even though it really didn't beg, I didn't need that, but
yeah,
I guess I did.
I thought you were sold already, man.
I mean, I was, but what if? I didn't remember that jam.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you he's that dude.
I didn't realize you were the #1 member of the Scott Stapp fan club, though.
I'm the president, not only a member.
I am the monarch of the Stapp kingdom.
The man on his first album, he said, "The goal is to be unified. Take my hand, be my brother."
Oh, damn.
What is he saying that's wrong on any of that?
That's inspirational, honestly.
Man,
and this is a good Christian man himself.
MLK, and MLK, goddammit. They were proud of that bar.
I mean, I feel like if nothing else, Scott Stapp could definitely be a really get into some nice youth ministry stuff, you know?
Shit. Hey, and he don't even have to be there. That's how cold he is.
What if I just left?
It's just the dude named Toby wearing suspenders playing some Creed. So Scott Stapp has spoken today, children, and here he is. What if I...
Steve rocking Creed, just pumping Creed in the 90s in his car. What was it, an Audi? Is that what you had?
The Bowdy Audi.
The Bowdy Audi. That shit was... That was that car, Steve. It wasn't the Chrysler Concorde, but what could be?
I mean, it was an
that
86.
limo.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's almost as old as you.
Yeah, that was the last time Larry Bird won a championship.
Shit.
That's how old that motherfucker is. 86.
Steve, also, just because I thought it was a great question, and I want to hear your answer and just you just sort of justify it, ask me the question you asked about the Rosie O'Donnell thing. Just give me that again.
If you had to, a gun is up to your head, and you had to make a choice to have a dinner with Rosie O'Donnell or Roseanne Barr, who would you pick?
Okay, and I didn't ask this originally. Just one quick follow-up. Can I pick a certain Rosie O'Donnell, or is it the one current? That I'm just pulling information out, or can I go back in time and visit with that version of Rosie?
Okay, so since you had to fragment that question, let's do two answers.
Okay. Now, Roseanne. Just for the stories, just for the hang, because I don't really necessarily believe anything this crazy woman's talking about right now that I've heard. But it seems like, if nothing else, you're going to walk away with just one of those one-night experiences that's going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's positive. But
Good
if I
times.
can go back in time, Steve, if I can go back in time to a Rosie O'Donnell in A League of Their Own, we can kick it.
Yeah. And I want to apologize. Since we're sharing space here, I should have never gave you shit about Rosie O'Donnell. If I'm going to say season 6 Roseanne was doable.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like that's just a crazy miss. How you could even raise a finger to criticize that, and you said that.
You're right. And that's why I'm apologizing.
Well, I'm sorry to dig in deeper, but I appreciate
that's unfair.
that, Steve.
Yeah, it was unfair of me.
But going back, I'm remembering when I watched that. I mean, there was a lot of hot ladies in that, but a young, realistic Fat Matt was me and Rosie would probably get along great, you know? She seemed like a sweet lady, so I'm going to say that.
Because you're talking my league. Oh, is it my league?
It's a league of their own.
A league.
Just A.
Okay.
But
yeah,
she was one of the peaches, and Matt wanted to get in there, so.
Yeah, you like the way them socks was sitting on them calves. I feel you.
But Steve, thank you. I feel like we can move past that now. I never have to bring up Rosie O'Donnell in A League of Their Own ever again. Yeah. But what if?
But what if I wouldn't trip?
Today begins the 29th season of Sesame Street. Watch it with your kids. Robin Williams up first. We'll be right back. Give me a kiss.
Hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your grandma's cousin of the son-in-law by the guy who lived across the street from the creators of Pokemon.
God damn.
Wait, that was another story. So get out your Steve Eiserman and your White Zombie, because ain't nothing going on but a bomb-ass rap song hitting all night long. Just like me on the black and white ivory, getting 6 on artillery. You don't want to see a G break your ass like dishes. Bust ass tricks, sleep with the fishes. Damn. Yay.
Uh-huh.
It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, dude.
Another episode. We get to get a couple of these out in the bank while you're here. So how's Columbus treating you, Steve? How do you feel? C-Bust, the bust.
It always feels good coming back home, man. Like any part of Ohio, whether it's Columbus, Cincinnati, Sandusky, Toledo, man, Ohio, it's the vibes, man. And it's like that Midwest feel. Like people are kinder because they got more time for shit. They're not like hassled by traffic and like, oh, what am I gonna do about sky high taxes? I don't fucking know, man. Like they don't have to deal with that big city shit because like all of the like bigger cities in Ohio, they're like still moderate size,
mid tier.
They're still like you can deal with them.
They're dipping their toe in the water of big city, but you can still experience like that suburban shit. Because I'm like right outside downtown, and even here it's kind of it's like slower than you would like anything close to like LA or even Atlanta.
And that's the thing, man. Like both of us experience like way bigger cities than anything Ohio has. So I think coming back, because I experienced this in 2019 when I moved back. I'm sure you have, man. And probably even more so the longer you stay here. It's like, dude, like any of the little shit I was tripping about is not even. I didn't deal with way bigger like. This, you know what I mean? And it's like, even with the traffic, like, man, motherfucker, I didn't see way bigger traffic. So this traffic, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I mean, that's one perspective I have in general is that dealing with LA traffic, nothing. Like, I hear people complain here and it's like laughable.
Yeah.
Like, you motherfucker, you don't know motherfucker, you don't know what traffic is.
This shit right here?
But, yeah, Columbus is fucking, I'm feeling good about it. And I got to say, I'm proud of Ohio for, we got legalized weed coming here soon, too. So we're going to have the best of both worlds, Steve.
You came at the perfect time.
I think they knew I was coming. They're like, we got to make this league. We got to make this money. It's like 7-Eleven. When I go to an area, 7-Eleven used to have an astronomical profit rise when I moved into that area,
And now 7-Eleven might have that green on the 7-Eleven.
Oh, we can only hope so. Wouldn't that be great? Remember all those pothead college dreams we had? Like, man, we can just buy joints and cigarette packs. And, I mean, we're really already there. Yeah. I've already done that. But to do it in Ohio, I mean, that's just a nice flex.
Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Dude, I thought we were going to be like the Ben and Jerry's of weed. Like,
oh, yeah?
We found some seeds, or like that's my imagination floating, man. We found those seeds, man, put them things in a pot. And down the street at we went down to the Walmart down the street, man, and got the pottery, the fucking soil,
the whole thing.
Yeah, a little bullshit lamp, and put that motherfucker in my closet. That shit, and it was starting to sprout.
I'm telling you, I did it semi-successfully myself. We did it, but we were in a dorm room, so I mean the actual reality of that, you can't do that. We had already had some run-ins. We can't call Larry again. He doesn't want to hear us.
Yeah.
So, But I did it, and I did the same thing, except I just, I found a seed. I was like, I think that's the kind I need. I think that's a female. And lo and behold, that shit, I mean, you can ask Kendra. I was actually very proud of it. It wasn't timed right. I didn't figure it out, but soon.
We were guesstimating.
Soon. Maybe we can still be the Ben and Jerry's. Buckeye fucking buds. Ooh, I like that.
Buckeye buds. You on to something.
There we go.
Well, today, my friend, we're talking about all things December 7th. In the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don Mega. Starting off in 1993, Ice Cube releases Lethal Injection. And that is the one with, you know how we do it. Yeah. Nothing but the best side.
I mean, this is the Ice Cube that I gravitated to. This is my favorite version of Ice Cube. A lot of these songs are some of my favorite hip hop songs. And this funk, I don't know what you describe this as, G-funk or whatever it is.
I mean, that was the flavor, man. And he even had George Clinton cameo on this album because he was getting involved with actual funk artists, man. Like, this is fresh off of the Lethal Injection album. He did Today Was a Good Day, and that's probably, if not my favorite Ice Cube song, it's up there. It's top 3. And so, that was 92. He drops this in 93, man. No, I'm tripping. Lethal Injection is the one that dropped this year in 93. The one that he did before that.
Well, while you're looking that up, I just have to say,
Predator.
I got to see the actual cover because I'm bad with the names of shit. But any early, there we go. Any early Ice Cube, but. One thing I just have to say, my favorite Ice Cube song was called Extradited. It was on one of the albums. It was the double album. I think it was Life or Death?
Peace and War.
War and Peace.
War and Peace,
yeah.
And
I love that album too. But just shout out to Ice. I mean, we don't need to shout out Ice Cube. The motherfucker's a king. Got so rich he made his own basketball league, and I love that.
O'Shea.
Yeah, even his progeny's killing it. I like me some O'Shea Jr. How do you feel about that?
Hey, man, he's his daddy's son.
He definitely is.
Yeah, man. In 1994, though, Sister Sister is airing Season 2 A Tall Tale. The twins find dates for the big dance, but find them disappointing. Roger struggles with a very tall dance partner. And another dance episode. Just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Family Matters and Laura going to the Sadie Hawkins dance. I don't remember dances being had in high school around this time.
I mean, I remember it, but I wasn't going to it. I was didn't want to get rejected. A lot of fear of that. So these were always scary. So I share some of this, but I think this is why it was so intense for us as kids, because we had all these TV episodes where it was everything.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. You don't want what happened to Roger happen to you, Steve. You don't want that. It's fucking school. You have to walk around. These kids are going to know. So, yeah, I mean, high school, we definitely had some dances, but I wasn't attending them. I did a couple, but...
You did more than me. I went to none of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, though. It's okay, Steve.
It is what it is.
You're invited to my dance. Okay? You can come. VIP. I did that. I mean, until we junior year, I felt obligated to. I don't know why, but I just wanted to fit in, I guess.
I felt obligated, but I still didn't go. And, I don't know. It was just insecurities?
Yes. You didn't want to get rejected, I think. It was probably the same thing. But I do have to say one of the proms that I didn't go to might have been senior prom. I remember me and a bunch of guys tried to do the funny Eddie Murphy put a banana in people's tailpipe gag to the people at the high school. And I don't think it even worked. But we tried. We did it a couple times. So I hope nobody had it. But maybe... Hopefully the statute of limitations is up on
that. But man, we didn't grow up soon enough, man.
No, we didn't. I haven't grown up yet. I'm still waiting for that to happen, but it's going to happen someday. I'm going to be a big boy soon.
But Tia and Tamara, back to the girls in Detroit, the twin sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about boyfriends from different high schools. And as they're talking about this, we see the potential boyfriends that they're talking to. And they're familiar faces, at least to me. One is Wesley Jonathan. He plays the character Michael. And Wesley Jonathan, I feel, has been playing a teenager all the way up until his 40s. And Darnell, he's talking to the other sister, and he's played by Celine Grant. And I just know him from Ghost Dad, unfortunately. I'm sure there's better examples on his IMDb, but yeah.
He looks like the guy who said he was Donovan McNabb on It's Always Sunny. That dude.
You're talking about Elvin from fucking Cosby Show?
He looks like a handsome Elvin, dude. He's not, I mean, whatever. They think he's handsome. And the thing of it is, these guys are not from their school, which makes it even cooler. You're dating some dudes that are from some other, like, wild school.
And he drives.
Yeah, he can come over and hang out, which is what they're doing. They show up at the school. I don't know how that works, but they're just there to hang out. You know, Mike wants to just tell Tamara. Is he with Tamara?
I get him mixed up.
Yeah, sorry. He's there just to profess his love, but he brought Donnell, his buddy. And
he's parking the car.
Yeah, and he quickly gets an invite to the dance too. So
yeah,
double date.
But the way he asked her, it was like on the sly. So okay, tall, light skinned Ghost Dad dude. He asked out Tamara. Mm-hmm. So he's dating Tamara, and Michael is dating Tia.
Okay.
And he was just like, "Hey, Tamara, are we happening?" That's all he said. Are we happening?
I mean, hey, she didn't even understand the question. She kind of agreed by confusion. She does.
Yeah,
she's into it though.
Whatever the fuck that means, but yeah.
She roll with it.
Asked me out, yeah.
And you know, then Roger comes through, and he's got like a whole portfolio in his hand.
He's got the whole school attendance.
Yeah, he knows who's in attendance. He's got the alphabetical order of names of chicks
with their phone number.
Yeah, and I've got to just say though, the heartbreaking, just getting denied before he can even ask Tia Tamara. I mean, this dude's just getting dogged throughout this episode, Steve. I feel bad for Marquez.
Well, before he even asks.
No,
yeah, and it's just like I really wish people would stop assuming that I'm going to ask them on a date. Well, what do you want? I was going to ask you out on a date, but I just hate when people assume the shit.
So he's looking, and then, because he gets denied there, he's at the T's, and he looks to his right, and he's like, "Oh, miss," and I forget what her name is, but he throws that game at the teacher, Steve.
Bro, I can't be mad at him. Like, he shot his shot. It was hard for us to approach girls our age. He approached a grown woman.
Yeah, what did he say to the woman, Steve? Because it's pretty crazy.
It was kind of like, I know you just got divorced, so yeah, if you got a lonely shoulder, I will, you know what I'm saying, on some shit like that. She just walks off on him. She's like, well, go ahead, you feel that way now. Wait till them lonely Saturdays and shit. I'm going to start looking good to your ass.
Lonely bitch. Yeah. So he's shooting his shot, but I don't know if Rogers, it seems like he's never going to get a date, Steve. Unless it's with the, just like I don't know.
A rando.
Special kid.
You know, he's got little man complex. And one of the things I've heard, man, they're more successful at making it around the bases than their taller counterparts. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. I date somebody who has like who's revolted by short people. So, you know, I don't know.
That's totally true.
But I feel like here's just my acknowledgement of short people that I've known. It seems like people who are shorter usually are in really good shape when they're like, at least the people that I've known. So they have that going for them. So they have like one up on like, you know, a fat, chubby, taller man.
It takes less to like, you know, make yourself look stout and all that. But also, I think they know that they're under pressure consistently all the time. So like they're the ones that like go into the bar and at last call they'll beat you. They'll beat the tall 6'4" guy. It's like shit. I'm always on last call. Shit. So they always had that mindset. Like the tall, like handsome guy. Like I'm so busy being looked at by all the girls in here because when they look up, I'm the only thing they see.
They can't see you, sir.
I'm handsome as fuck, ain't I? This is all going on in his head. Meanwhile, little guy, Mr. Muggsy Bogues, he's. He's on a mission.
But he's getting denied left and right. But this is going to help him in the future. This is like sales. You got to get through the no's, Steve. Eventually, you're going to hit a yes.
On a mission.
You know? It's statistically possible. So Roger's getting shut out. The Maoris, they got dates. They're good to go.
And they need a whip.
Yep.
And luckily, Dad Ray, he owns a limo business. I was like, shit, that's a good flex.
Damn. Can you imagine that? Just getting to take like the stretch Hummer that your dad owns to fucking whatever the dance is? That'd be great.
But they don't want him to drive.
No.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's not.
We trying to smoke, man. Damn.
Yeah, I kind of thought about giving Michael HJ too. I don't want my dad to be there.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get deflowered in the back of that thing, but Dad's cool with it. I gotta say, Ray's all about it. And as I think this is happening, Jack Hayes' character is like meeting with a customer, I believe, in the house.
Yeah, and I don't know quite what it was, man.
She seems to be like a dressmaker or something. She's like sizing the chick up. So as she's talking to this lady, the lady hands her like a photo, I believe,
of her daughter.
And Jack Hayes like, oh my God, she's beautiful. It says all this stuff about her being beautiful. Roger is there lamenting his just, complete denials that he's faced. And he hears this conversation. And I mean, just steps two. He's like, oh, another possibility. Let me get them digits. And takes those as Jack A and the lady leave. So now he's got another possibility. He's got a lead, Steve, and using sales terms.
He's always on a mission.
Winners, or if you don't sell, Steve, you got to or if you don't shoot your shot, you're never going to sell it. So he picks that number up, calls, and then we get a beautiful montage, Steve, of just Roger just pulling a phone romance out of nowhere.
And kids today will never experience that short 1 minute or 2 minutes where you're calling and the parent picks up.
Yeah.
Like now you have a direct line because kids have cell phones at the age of 6 at this point.
Yeah.
But shit, like you had to call the home phone. It's like, man, please don't be her parent. Please don't be her parent.
Or even just being nervous about calling. Like just
calling,
to get
just
over that. Like
all right. That's a level to get over.
It was so scary, dude. I remember that. There was a couple times where we had that technology and that's how you did it. You're right, though, because there was that awful possibility that the dad answers or some shit, and you're like, ha, and you just hang up.
Shit, let it be the mom. Let it be the brother, the older sister. Right? It's like, man, I'm like,
this is Matt. Just hang the phone up. Shit. I definitely chickened out a few times doing that. Where you had it, it was right there. All you had to do was call, get through that. Which we'd all done that. You call your buddies and the mom answers. You throw a little cool small talk on it. Oh, hey, Miss Sparks, how you doing? Just be a little sweetie pie.
Oh, man, you were Eddie Haskell with it. I wasn't doing all that. I was just, is Deborah there?
Yo, Deborah, some fucking creeps over here. Answer the phone. Yeah, that was definitely a stressful situation, and Roger seems to just be laying the Mac down. We get whatever that song is that's playing. I'm sorry, you're the song guy, but they got that song playing. He's macking, and this dude falls asleep, making this chick fall in love with him over the phone.
Yeah, well, that was the thing too, man. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you first.
I just want to listen to you sleep.
Yeah. So that happened, and then Lisa, she comes into the living room. She sees this boy on her couch, and she's like, Roger, go home. Because it's just like the did I do that at this point? I feel like it's reached that point where we got to have one of those per episode. But she says it like just, very, very calmly. Just, Roger, go home. So he follows Lisa up, and I don't know if his intent was going to Lisa's bedroom or if he was just like sleepwalking.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, I'm not mad at you, Roger. But yeah, she's like, go to your home.
He just wants to know her name. And here's my thing. The balls to call somebody just off grip that the excuse you have is that, I don't know what he said, but you basically have to be like, yeah, I just found your number. I just thought I'd give you a call. Like, it's weird.
Hey, but it was a different time. We didn't have, it sounds creepy now, but hey, you never know.
But also this girl, it is explained that she's new to town and having trouble meeting like friends and stuff. So maybe she's a little more open to that. But needless to say, Roger has a romance on the phone with a chick he's never seen. He almost gets to go to bed with Jack A. And then he goes off and like sleepwalks to his house where hopefully he makes it home okay because it is late, Steve.
Yeah. And like now the day of the dance, Roger, he shows up and he's dressed to the nines. I mean, you know, the girls, they agree to allow Ray to drive them there.
But actually, Ray, he was going to pawn it off.
He was.
On one of his like employees. But Jack A, a side story to this is Jack A has this new guy, Terrence. And Jack A's like, this is like the fourth date. This is the date, Ray. I need you to get out of town, okay? I need some time because this is going to happen.
And she's trying to roundabout tell him without saying like, hey, I got this motherfucker coming over. And I'm trying to get taken to Pound Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was just suggesting, hey, you know what? Those girls should be on a short leash. You need to drive them to the dance and keep a close eye on them. And Ray calls her out like, Terrence on his way, ain't he?
You trying to get your back blown out, aren't you?
Hell yeah.
But she is. So Ray's going to drive him. Roger comes in, and like you said, he is dressed to the nines. And I just have to point out, dude has a tuxedo with tails. And he's got a fucking monocle hanging out the pocket, Steve, which that's Monopoly. Incredible. I don't even get that, but that's awesome. That's like no, I was gonna say chain wallet, you know, but that's like a Monopoly man thing. That's only for the richest, only for the most luxurious.
We're some Janko guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, definitely.
To us, that's luxurious.
Chain wallets as classy as this guy gets, but. Roger's there. He is gonna take Kelly, who is the girl he called he's gonna take her to the dance.
He cold call.
Yeah, and he's like, I just want to impress her by showing up in a limousine, which I mean, that's smart. That's good. That's good gentlemanly behavior there. Steve.
Yeah, it's a good flex. I mean, Lyft and Uber doesn't exist yet, so yeah, in the '90s, getting pulled up in a limo, yeah.
I took a girl to prom in her mom's Chrysler Sebring convertible, Steve. I thought that was pretty fucking popping. To the Seagate Center, wherever we had that, in top down.
Shit, we're going into the city?
Shit. But Roger's going to show up. I like that he's there. T and Tamara come down, and they're like, why are you here? He's like, you said I could come to the dance with you. And they're like, we said you could ride on top of the limousine. Like, still just hating on Roger. I don't get it, man. He's such a sweet little boy.
But his persistence. I thought that was an invite.
This kid just wants to hang out, Steve. And he is. He gets to go on the limousine ride. And the thing that also stood out to me in this is when they come downstairs, you know, the two twins are dressed up. They're twins. But one of them is no longer a member of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, Steve.
And that one is Tamara.
Tamara.
Yeah, she's got them padded tits. The Paddington twin.
Tia's like, I thought we were identical.
Shit. For these next few hours, they ain't. And, and even Lisa recognizes that. Oh, you... Okay.
I mean, even Ray is. He's like, Tamara? Yeah. My baby.
And Batman, Mr. Marcus Houston, Roger, he says, girl, you've been taking your vitamins.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so off to the dance. I think we cut right to the limousine now, right?
Well, yeah, we're in the limousine, but before we get to the dance, we're introduced to Kelly for the first time on camera.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's knocking at the door, Roger, and he sees her. And it's like Manute Bowl standing next to Muggsy Bogues.
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, pussy height to this chick. She can dunk, and whatever grade they're in. But, Roger Short King hooking up with the center, Steve.
And that's the thing, man. Like, it didn't even faze him at first. Like, the school hazing didn't kick in until they got to the dance. Because when they're on the limo, Darnell and Michael, they're trying to throw some shade.
Yeah, they're laughing at him because he's like not even tall enough to put his arm around chick.
Not even tall enough. And but at the same time, he's being a ladies' man. Meanwhile, Darnell and Michael, their dates at the time don't even like them.
Yeah, because they're acting like dicks.
They're acting like how we were acting when we were 15 and 16, just not mature enough.
Hey, look at this booger. They're acting like worse than that. They're acting like elementary school level. Like, yeah, let's put our butts up to the window, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I'll give us more credit than that. We wouldn't burp a girl's name and think that would impress her.
Yeah, I mean, that's... whenever that stopped, maybe elementary school that works. I don't know, but they're seconds away from making fart noises. You know, we probably missed that.
Yeah, I mean, they were just doing all the Beavis and Butthead behavior, man. And it's like, Wesley Jonathan, you're a city guy. You should know better.
Kendra loves that.
Man,
she thinks we're city guys. She thinks we are that.
I remember her saying that early in the game, and I appreciate it. That's not a bad thing. It's just, you know.
C-I-T-Y, who are those guys? Something else, but I didn't watch that show.
Roll with the city guys.
But they basically are acting like girls have cooties, Steve. You know, they're sitting in the middle of these two chicks. They're not paying no attention to them. So let's see what happens at this dance. We
shall see. And back at the household, Lisa breaks her shit shortly after Ray and the twins leave. Like, she just runs into the kitchen like, yeah, I'm about to go to Pound Town. Wow.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
What are you going to do? Terrence is coming over with condoms and some fucking champagne.
Yeah. Professor Ogilvy. I know him better as Professor Ogilvy from the Parkers.
He's something else too, because I remember him from some other show.
He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's one of those like side dudes in the 90s. But is this where we see him romancing her with the fruits and the kind words?
I think they alternate.
Okay.
Because they go back to the dance. They're actually at the dance now, and Kelly is the tallest person there. Not just taller than Roger, her date. She's the tallest person in attendance at this dance.
I'd love that, to be honest with you. I think that'd be kind of cool. But I get from Roger's perspective, but she's also one of the most hot chicks at the dance. She's just is a gigantor.
She's actually a cute girl. She's just, man. You know, her dad is probably David Robinson or something.
He just had to come up with some like pithy, like, I'm gonna climb that mountain shit. You know, you gotta put up some word, like do the battle of words and like throw it back at these guys.
Because Roger is still not phased, man. Like, he heard the little Heckle and Jekyll shit in the limo. He made it to the dance. He's still proud. You know, he took the pictures with old girl. You know, the photographer kicks him a stepping, like a stepstone.
It's like a kiddie seat at a restaurant for him to stand up so they're like at the same eye line. Yeah. And I love Roger's energy here because he's like, man, stop playing me, and just kicks that shit.
He's more mature than the photographer, man, and shit.
And also it was embarrassing because I think the thing that kind of set it off for him was that they go to like the punch bowl, like the little snack area, and this chick starts eating chips, and he's so short. The chip dust gets on his head, and somebody walks by and is like, yo, man, did you use the Head and Shoulders? I mean, that's got to hurt a little bit, Steve.
Yeah, the crumbs dropped in his braids. And like, but he's still not phased. Like, he clocked that, but he's still like going with the program. It wasn't until they're dancing, and then old boy, and that dude, he was from the Parkers. He was Nikki Parker's... He was the main character's bestie, male bestie.
Okay.
And he chimes in while they're dancing. He's like, hey, man, you probably going to need a high chair. Like, dude.
Let the man dance. But that's high school, Steve. This is high school, dude.
Yeah.
90s high school. There was no love for anybody.
Sheep, I tell you.
We were all targets. You just had to avoid it, you know? It's like war. You got to avoid those bullets. And for him... everybody's looking at it because this chick's like a giant. She's like a lighthouse. Yeah. Literally. She's just standing above everybody else. But I think at this point, I think we see him maybe like rush out or just leave. Maybe we don't see that specifically, but I think this is when we do cut back to the house. Yeah. Jack A's with Terrence. You know, her back's all messed up, so she's on the couch. Terrence is like, you know what? That's fine. I love giving a back rub. But he's giving her a back massage, and then he starts throwing some like... some game at her that gets real close to very explicit shit, but using honestly, like some fruit wordplay, you know?
Honestly, bro, I like Fletcher's game on Estelle Winslow better than this motherfucker's game because like he was throwing some boomer game, but it fit his age. This dude was trying to throw some like throwback like before that, like Shakespearean type. Like, yo, what the fuck was he saying?
It's some grocery store game because I think he's like a manager. He's like, you know how to tell a melon's good? You got to tap on it and give it some pressure and smell on it.
Dude, that is not what he said. Like, your shit would have been better than his. Pause.
But he's using. My thing is, it's from the perspective and from the language of somebody that's using grocery store terminology, you know. But he's still getting it because it's making her get all saucy.
Hey man, she's
icy hot.
Middle age, man. Options are limited.
And I mean, right at this point, they just get to going. They're just starting to make out, you know, and that's fine. You know, they got a house to themselves, Steve. So even if they, you know, fuck it. The kids are gone.
Yeah, Lisa clearly gives no fucks. Like, this is where the twins was working on their 4th grade projects. She's like, yeah,
I've been waiting so long for this. So Terrence is laying it down. It's gonna happen, right? It's a foregone conclusion. Yeah. And I think we cut back to the high school before we get into their little last shenanigans. So cutting back to the high school. Do we go to the limo first with Ray?
Now he's in the limo.
Yeah.
And Roger basically tells Ray, like, hey, man, I know the dance is still going on, but, like, I'm ready to go home. Man. And he's like, well, what about your date? Well, man, she can make it there about 20 giant steps.
I can't do that. So he starts telling Ray what's going on. And Ray's like, man, and before he can even get started, Roger's like, yeah, I know. You were a loser, too, in high school. You understand? He's like, actually, I was actually very popular, and I made fun of everybody. But, you know, so Ray gets his feelings hurt, but then the conversation veers, and he's like, look, man, this doesn't mean anything. Like, this is high school. That's basically the tone of the conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
And I can tell that you like her, Roger. And he's like, how do you know? Well, I saw the way you were talking to her, how you were responding to her. He's like, were you spying on us? Not really. I was spying on Tia and Tamara, but, like, Kelly was so tall, she just kept blocking my view.
Clips of the sun. And he basically talks Roger into not. He's like, you can't do this, man. Just go back in. Just be you.
Shout out to Ray, man, because we talk about dope TV dads from the 90s, but Ray is an unsung one. And I think it's because of that network shuffle, but he gave some very Danny Tanner level, like, advice where he's like, she's a beautiful girl. And even if she wasn't, she doesn't deserve to be, like, just skedaddled on.
Yeah.
And, like, he took heed to that, man. And, like, he goes back in there, and all the guys in unison, pretty much one after one, they're like, yeah, we were being douches earlier.
Yeah.
Can I get this last dance? And it took some shrugging from the twins and even some shrugging from Kelly. But, you know, they saw the error in their ways, and they were like, yeah, all right, I'll give you this, motherfucker. We drove here. We had to pay for these dresses. Shit. Fuck it.
I do like Donnell gets played, though, because...
He should.
Yeah. He's the one that was douchey, because when we see them go back and before they've actually reconnected, he's, like, trying to be, like, to Mike, like, yo, man, don't be playing. This is us, man. Yeah. Fuck these chicks, that's crazy. These guys are of age. You guys want to be hanging out with the chicks too. Like, this is crazy.
But they're not mature, man. You should. But, like, at one point after he played Tia, he was like, "Hey, you want to dance? Psych." Later, you see them dancing with each other, and Michael, Wesley Jonathan, he was like, "Bro, like, this ain't it.
You ain't beautiful like that."
Yeah, like, you ain't Tia or Tamara, bro.
So that happens. Roger's hanging out with Kelly, and he admits, she basically is like, you think I don't know what's going on here? You don't want to be with me because I'm so tall. So they're both basically having the same issue from two different angles. You know, she's always the tall chick. He's always the short guy. But they reconnect. They start dancing, and he's like, so can I take you out to pizza later? And she's like, oh, I'd love some pizza. I'm hungry. That's great. You must have read my mind. He's like, actually, I heard your stomach growl, because he's basically at that height, Steve.
Man, Roger had one-liners all through this episode.
Yeah, dude. Marquez Houston really killed this. He was really funny in this. And not just like a goofy presence every once in a while. He definitely lends something to this show.
And they kind of went meta, because one of the songs played during this dance is an Immature song. And, he was the front man for Immature. And like later in this show, they'll call attention, like, low key to, like, him being Batman or Marcus Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I wondered why that was said. I forgot about that reference. Okay.
Yeah, man.
But, I mean, Roger Short King, he's going to win, Steve. He won this night.
Do you remember the last time we covered Sister on this show?
I feel like we did a promo where we used Unsolved Mysteries music, and it was just like, I think it was the first episode.
No, it wasn't the first episode. No?
Okay.
I think the last time we covered this, because this is just, I think, was the Slumber Party episode with Brittany Murphy.
Oh.
I think that was the last time.
I do remember that.
Yeah. The only other time, too.
It's a good
probably.
show, though, man. Like, I wasn't watching this. Kendra asked about that. This wasn't on my radar as much, but T and Tamara were just like it there. So you had to tune in a little bit.
Definitely another 90s crush, man. And it is a great show. It was a great show, but we're talking about the 90s. Like, look at their competition. I think that's what it comes down to, because we still have yet to cover Alex Mack.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a bad show.
No, it wasn't. Turning into a puddle of goo? Why not?
But in 1994, Pete and Pete is airing Pinned, the episode Pinned. Big Pete tries to get his varsity letter by joining the wrestling team.
Love this. I'm a super fan of this show. I think I've talked about it ad nauseum. But I do think that the thing that Pete and Pete does better than a lot of shows is their gallery of characters in this show, especially like the bullies, are great. And this show features one of the most main bullies, Endless Mike, and I love this, man. I love this character, and I love when I told Kendra when we were walking, like, the drama that they show in this from like Pete's perspective that you put yourself in as a teenager. I feel like they figured out a way to like visualize that in a very cool way.
That's why it's good to never lose your inner child, man.
Yeah,
always have some of that light burning. In a way, it's kind of like a children's Seinfeld, in the sense of like creating your own universe, and the characters are kind of like if you know kind of deal.
Yeah, that is true. They do have like very specific recurring characters that come back. Oh, this guy, just like Newman, just like all those guys. Yeah, that's true. That's a great. That's a great fucking opinion, Steve. I love that. I never put two and two together like that. Listen to this guy, 90s scholar, Steve Garrett.
And Pete, we started off with him talking about the varsity letter and getting that big W and how it's a big deal. And, it allows you to fight crime. You get the girls. You get the ticket to kick it in the back of the class. And clown and crack jokes.
Go to the front of the lunch line. Just cut. You get it all, Steve.
Just make the team.
The money and the power and the respect. You get it all.
It's that easy. Or is it?
Yeah, but all he has to do, Steve, just, this is Pete Wrigley. All he has to do is pick a sport, and that's it. So he picks wrestling, and I got to say, nightmare of one to pick. Pick anything else. Pick the golf team. Shit.
Anything else.
That's the worst. But he does, and we see this dude get pounded. Pause, not pounded. Somebody just straight body flops on him that looks like Fedor Emelianenko. It looks like a UFC fighter, a grown man.
Motherfucker look like Brock Lesnar.
Jesus.
Next to Pete. And he was just like, you know what? For wrestling, I know what I need. I need endurance, agility, speed, and probably health insurance.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
He ain't built like that, Steve. And then cut to that song, that Polaris jam. And just shout out to Polaris. They had a whole album that was basically filled with this music. And I love that. It's a great band. I didn't give them too much credit as a youngster, but as an old man, it makes me feel nostalgic when I hear that shit.
I only know about that song. I ain't even gonna hold you.
All the interstitial ones, like when sometimes you'll hear it in the background, like when he's like talking to Ellen, it's sort of like a romantic vibe. There's like certain like secondary songs that are, they have the full version, and they just had a CD full of it, and I think Jordan probably still has it to this day. It was amazing. But so, Big Pete, he's trying out, or he's going to join the wrestling team. And as we go through this, he does have a friend on the team named Teddy, who's like his buddy, who's just like the nerd, who's plugged in. He's like the info guy, Steve.
And he's more tapped into the wrestling world, more so than Pete.
Yes.
Because Pete doesn't know pinhold from his asshole. Shit.
He has never done a suplex, a DDT, damn Greco-Roman, none of it. He doesn't even know how to. He's never even put on a singlet. Never. But he's here now.
He's in the wrong sport.
Yeah, he's got a Nazi-like coach. He's surrounded by these gigantic dudes and Teddy, but he's also being hounded by Endless Mike, who early on in the show shows up in like the locker room and really just throws a like threatening. He just throws a lot of threats at Pete just right there, then and there. But in that, we see one of the perks of being on the wrestling team in that they step up and defend him from the bully. Strength
in numbers.
Yeah. So Endless Mike slinks off into the, into the darkness, and we think he's done. It's a done deal, So
But
after that, we cut, and Pete's like, after this, because he has nobody to wrestle. Basically, he's the last man on the totem pole. So all he can do is just watch everyone else wrestle.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is wait until he gets that varsity letter, Steve.
And we find out why he's called Endless Mike, because this motherfucker's petty. And we quickly find out that he's a hater. He's like, yeah, you there with your wrestling goons. Yeah, we'll see. It was one of them kind of deals, man. And one of the side stories is that Ellen, Pete's bestie, she's a cheerleader. Yeah. And she's got a gripe with the coach, Coach Bino. She's basically trying to coach the wrestlers because she knows wrestling. Her grandpa was the champion in Greater Pensacola, and they show a clip of him wrestling the alligator. Yeah, and
killed the fucking thing by the looks of it, Steve,
with his bare hands. And Coach Bino, he has none of this. He's a boomer, so he's got that Jackie Gleason mentality. Pow, right in the kiss of Alice, like straight to the moon. Like you should be over there cheerleading, beat a toots. Like he's one of those.
Pick up a couple of pom poms and get out of my face, you dumb broad.
Yeah. And Ellen is not the one to be played with because she reads motherfuckers and she is with the shits. She's with the shits more so than Pete or Little Pete, I think.
I mean, she comes into the practice and instantly throws like a move that Pete and nobody else in that room's ever seen before because she's tapped into it like that.
She is.
And she's also petty, which I know you like because that coach throws that shade at her and she's like, oh, you know what? You want me to be the peppy? I'll show you some pep, motherfucker. I'm going to be the peppiest pep star. And she just gets behind him and is like, go team. And you can see the coach like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
Oh,
but she's got that knowledge, Steve. And thankfully, Pete's going to need that soon because we find out after Endless Mike has been bullied away from Pete that to get revenge, he actually joined a different high school's wrestling team at the exact same weight class that Pete's in so that him and Pete can wrestle.
I don't like that petty because that's bully petty.
That's crazy.
Like that's super petty.
That's psycho.
That's psycho because it's like Pete poses no threat. Like he wasn't checking for you. He never came for you, bro. So like, why are you fucking? Oh, because you know he can be fucked with. So to wrestle him and he got a posse now of Kurt Angle type motherfuckers behind him. You want to go to a whole nother school just so you can wrestle him? Like, I feel like, bro, you need to find better shit to do with your time.
He has all the petty bones in his body. So we find that out. Pete's freaking out. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I got to figure out something. But he is like relieved to know that he doesn't have to wrestle him because there's so many people above him in the totem pole of this wrestling thing. So
it's a pecking order.
He's like, as long as I got these three guys in front of me, I don't got to worry. But then those guys start falling like flies. Steve, Endless Mike, this dude's a sinister villain. Number one goes out. I feel like it was just kind of like an explosion. I don't know what happened to that guy. He just falls out. So that guy's done. Number one's gone.
Yeah, it's a mystery. Get Robert Stack on the case.
Yeah.
And then the second guy, he got taken in by a magnetic hand dryer. Like
I don't know what. Tim the Toolman tailored the hair dryer to suck in. And not only do that, but then do it so powerfully that I think he killed the guy.
That was a fatality on Nickelodeon in the afternoon. Because that was the 90s.
Yeah.
That totally happened.
So they're down. There's only one guy left. And Pete's like, well, now we got to protect this guy. So little Pete, his brother, who's connected. Yeah. He's the capo of this whole group.
Clearly.
He sends I forget the guy's name, but the last man standing, they put him in a hotel.
Van Dyke.
Yeah, Van Dyke goes to a hotel with Little Pete, and they're sitting there, and this is like witness protection.
They went witness protection with this shit.
Yeah, we gotta hide this guy till the match, but as Little Pete's going over the rules, don't eat anything unless I taste it first. Don't get out of the room. I'm going to handle everything. And the guy's like settling in. He's like, actually, this is pretty cool. Got some cable TV. I got this vibrating bed. And Little Pete's like, wait, what? Vibrating bed. And as soon as that quarter goes in, this bed, Freddy Krueger like slaps up into the wall and just, I think this guy's dead too. There's murders, Steve. There's multiple homicides.
That's totally Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Totally. And if you've seen Freddy versus Jason, which unfortunately I have recently, there's a scene where this basically happens, but it's a Jason thing. So Endless Mike now, there's nothing standing between him and Pete Wrigley. Nothing at all, except 1 pound that if Pete loses, he doesn't have to wrestle Endless Mike because they're not in the same weight class anymore.
And Teddy put him on game because he was like shitting his pants, like, damn, I got to fight Endless Mike now. And like, this kind of frustrates me because, bro, like, why pick the wrestling team? Like, if you don't want to wrestle a motherfucker, like, why don't you try badminton or something? I don't know. But like, Teddy tells him, like, hey, man, just go a weight lower and you won't have to fight him. So he goes a weight lower. And they go to the weigh-in, and he just barely missed Endless Mike because he was 1 ounce over. Yeah. Endless Mike, he hears this, and he's like, hold up. This motherfucker on the spot takes out a 2 because he wants to wrestle Big Pete that much.
Nothing will stop him, Steve.
Relentless.
And if you go back, as Pete's losing the weight, he goes to a sauna. Endless Mike shows up in a fursuit to sauna with him. Even more so. So that happens. Yeah. He comes to the same cafeteria, even though he's in a different high school, eats a pea in front of him just to scare him a little bit more. And I think the last thing to lose a little more weight, he gave up a kidney.
Yeah.
It's that serious.
While Big Pete was shaving.
Yeah, for no reason. I don't know what that did, Steve.
Yeah, because he doesn't have hair.
It's aerodynamic shit, I guess. It's like that swimmer mentality. But needless to say, Endless Mike, Pete Wrigley, they're on a collision course unless Pete just gives up.
But Ellen, she saves the day.
Yeah.
I ain't shit without my homies.
She's like, you can't, like, what are you doing? You've tried everything but wrestling the guy. Yeah. So maybe think about that. And because she's a G, she's an ace, she's like, me, Teddy, crash course. We're going to teach you how to wrestle in one night.
With your whole ass.
I don't know how she got access to the gym, but they do. And I love that Teddy is playing Endless. He's Endless Teddy, Steve. He's doing his best Endless Mike impression. He's beating the shit out of Pete. Yeah. And he's giving him the verbal abuse that you would expect.
Yeah, man. Some simulation style shit. Like, he opens up with a Tyler Durden fucking haymaker. Shit.
But, this is a night, this takes all night. And it, minute after minute, hour after hour, Endless Teddy's getting it over on Pete. He's getting slammed around. But somewhere around dawn, Steve, it all clicks.
He finally figured it out because he wasn't for the longest.
But the thing of it is, he figures out just the movements, but he needs a coach to tell him when to use those movements. You know what I mean? So without Ellen going, do the tornado twist leg drop, he has no power. He can't really do it. He doesn't have that confidence yet, And
he needs Ellen because she knows better than Coach Bino.
Yeah.
With his John Henline looking ass.
And doesn't somehow before they do this class, she actually successfully trains a wrestler mid-match in front of him at a practice and gets completely ousted from the gym because that coach is like, ain't no chick gonna be teaching my kids.
I don't think that was at that was at the actual meet.
Was it?
Like, yeah, because I think this was during Big Pete's first round or something like that, where like she threw some coaching tactic, but it was disguised as a cheer. And so this motherfucker Bino, he gets a cop to come and escort her out and says that you're suspended for 6 months. Is that serious? It's just like them damn
from school? Maybe from the meats.
Maybe from the meats. Maybe from school.
Damn, he's got power like that.
He looked like a fascist.
Nino
smelled like one. Smell him through the TV. But like that happened, and then the second round, and that's when Pete is really worried because he's like, "Damn, I ain't got my ace." Ellen's like, she just got escorted off the court like Rodman. So like, what the fuck do I do? Shit. So he gets his ass beat basically in the next round, all the way up until he's turned and he sees his parents upside down.
Yep.
He sees Teddy, his boy, like, man, bro, I believe in you. And then it was just like, man, something clicked. He hulked up. He had that moment where, like
when
Ken
you reach
Shamrock.
the final level, your mind, body, and soul must be one. He gets the glow.
He gets that motherfucking Leroy glow, man. And like,
you have the power inside you this whole time. He does. And I do like that as he like takes down Mike that one time, you see the facade crack a little bit. Because one thing we didn't mention, I don't know how I forgot to mention this. As we get to this match, Pete's nutted up, right? He's ready to face Endless Mike. But then Endless Mike Ultra Edition comes out in the Zubaz, the skull face paint.
Dressed like La Parka.
He dressed like a psychotic Ronald McDonald because he has like a red wig on, which I think is like to make fun of Pete. Maybe that's why.
I'm sure you secretly love that.
Yeah, so exactly. We all know my opinion of the Gingers, but not this one. We're not going to get into
They're
that.
Gingers, by the way.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Jeez.
I used a hard ER on that one. But Pete's not only going up against somebody he's afraid of, but like the nightmare version of him. But he's nutting up. He gets the best of him. And then at that time when it all clicks again in the match, you see Endless Mike like, yeah, that was just the appetizer. I'm coming for the main course, bitch. But he's rattled, Steve.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Buster Douglas got up after Mike Tyson knocked him out. Like, wait, this was never part of my program.
Yeah.
We never trained for that part.
It's the Russian dude in Rocky IV. It's like he's made of iron and he can't take him down, Steve.
And he found that fury. He found that Hulkamania spirit in him, that Ken Shamrock. He snapped. It's like, my mama and daddy here. Yeah. Shit. I got to show out. And I got to get that W.
And then the match, and I do like also the fucking shitty coach is like, as he's succeeding because of Ellen, the coach is taking all the credit. He's like, oh, Wrigley, you're a fucking stud. Keep it up, bud. It's all me. You listened. And it ain't because of you fucking piece of shit.
Because Teddy, like, he puts them together. Like, when he asked, like, man, where did you learn that move? And Teddy says, like, oh, yeah, that girl you had escorted out. Punk bitch.
Yeah. Listen to us next time, coach. But Wrigley, it's sort of the worm turns. Like, he's stuck, right? The new round goes, he's put in a position where it's about to be all over. But he does, like, some crazy twist move, pulls a fast one on Mike, and uses all that tutelage, all that power, all that nerd rage that I would have had, and beats Endless Mike, Steve.
Super Saiyan frustration.
And like a true wrestling villain, Endless Mike gets up and is like, what the hell? You can't lose. This is some bullshit.
Stupid ref.
I'm Endless Mike.
Cut the music.
But now Pete's got that varsity letter, Steve, and he's just basking in the glow.
He's got that dub.
Yeah.
And that dub don't stand for wimp or wuss bucket. It stands for winner.
I'm a winner. And he can walk those halls, Steve.
And he can get older and realize none of that shit will mean anything.
Yeah. But he's 1-0.
Yeah.
He's 1-0, Steve.
And to us teenagers at the time, it was so like, yes.
You did it.
This does mean something for the moment.
I can win too.
Yeah, it don't mean shit. We're 40.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love this show. I love Endless Mike. The guy who played Endless Mike went on to be in many things. Like I say, he was in Band of Brothers. He was in Sin City. I'm sure he was in many more things. Kind of looks like Sam Rockwell in Ninja Turtles. You know, he has that scuzz look.
Yeah.
But shout out to some other Pete and Pete villains. I was trying to think. There's Open Face, Paper Cut, Endless Mike, obviously. And there's just a cast of characters that we won't get to talk about in every episode, but like Artie, everybody knows Artie, the strongest man in the world. Just a bunch of weird Very, like you said, Seinfeldian, just very specific, very funny, hilarious recurring characters. So Pete and Pete's a fucking legendary show, dude. I love it.
And it's like a one name reference. Like if you know and watched the show back in the day, like, oh, strongest man in the world.
Hell yeah.
Like, oh,
Pump. I love that. And also, just because we've realized this as we were trying to like research the show, I don't know what's going on with licensing and shows, but for the love of God, do not let Pete and Pete the only way we could watch this was on YouTube. It's not even available where Nickelodeon is.
Well, the reason is because of Polaris.
Well, Polaris, come on, guys. We want to hear that. We want the show. If that's the holdup, geez. I got to believe, Steve, I don't want to put that on Polaris. That's a record company thing. That ain't Polaris.
Who's the record company? But to play devil's advocate,
Death Row, Steve.
Well, Suge Knight, let's make that phone call from the jail cell. But let's play devil's advocate and say it was Polaris. I understand y'all need all y'all's coins because this is the only thing I know about y'all.
I mean, that's all there is, Steve. I don't think they went on to do anything but play this in concert, which I would have loved.
Yeah. We don't want y'all to get screwed. Get all your coins, but figure it out so that the fans of the show can get what we want and not have to go to the sneaky links in the underworld and the black market of the internets.
I don't want to do that. I want Polaris to be thriving right now.
Yeah. You never know.
Let's do that. Hey, Polaris. Shout out to Polaris. I would love to interview them and just be like, what was it like? What happened after this?
We know you watching.
What happened?
But in 1997, December 7th, In Your House 19, Degeneration X is airing on pay-per-view through WWF, still known at this time. They're at the Springfield Civic Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. We
watched it, and I got to say, DX, they did a hell of a pay-per-view. I was into it.
The Shawn Michaels match. The one that Triple H had with Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, that was, I actually was doing some work at that point. I think I missed that one, but I do want to shout out pre-DX New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Badass going against LOD, and their entrance and subsequent leaving and coming back out because it was so funny. It was so. When we're ready to come into the ring, oh shit!
And like knowing what we know now, like that's the beginning stage of New Age Outlaws. It's like, dude, this guy is one of the best mic workers.
Oh my god, dude!
And that's some of his earlier work with Badass, man. And like Badass, like Road Dogg was more of the guy, more of the mic worker. Road Dogg was just there to be like, hey, man, I'll fuck you up if you.
Badass. He's just there to look good, Steve. He's an ass man. Dun.
And like their match was with LOD, it kind of represented a changing of the guard, like passing the torch of sorts, because LOD was most people's like favorite tag team from the 80s and 90s, and then like 97, man, it was like they're old. Like your time has came.
Yeah. Like
you're wearing like the haircuts. And I noticed that when we watched it, man, like the haircuts, that would have been cool in the 80s. Like this dude is brolic and he's big as fuck. He'll be my ass. And he looks like Mad Max. In the 90s, just like, bro, like you kind of look like a tool.
Yeah.
And they were still doing that shit. And I love you, LOD. But like, it's the New Age Outlaws era where we're like saying like witty shit on the mic. We're clowning you like, yeah, look at these dinosaurs. He was acting like he was the guy from Jurassic Park. Like
when he walks in, he goes, "Welcome to Jurassic Park. Yeah. Don't feed the dinosaurs. They're rowdy."
Dude, yeah, and that's
in comparison to LOD, which I love Hawk. I love Animal, but when Hawk's thing in this one. We've seen 2 wrestling events recently where he's given some really weird, bad promos. And this one, he's like, well, New Age Outlaws are the equivalent of one of those boogers you get way up in your... And he goes through like a 5-minute discussion of picking a booger. Yeah. And, it is what it is, Steve. But I do still love to hear, well...
It never gets old, man. It never gets old.
Yeah, but that was awesome. And when it was just... I don't know. Road Dogg, one of the most legendary mic workers of all time, in my opinion. He made that shit. It was so funny. I was laughing out loud, legitimately.
I think the match of that whole event might have been Taka Michinoku versus Brian Christopher. R.I.P., man. Like,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, surprisingly.
It was like surprisingly, man. Like he got busted open, like, and I don't even think that shit was planned. Like Brian Christopher falls on the guardrail, busts his mouth open, and he's basically like spitting blood like halfway through the match.
The rest of the match, and some of if you took a snapshot, like a screen grab of some of like mid match. It's incredible photography. It's just him. It looks like, you know, that Stone Cold where he was like gushing blood in the sharpshooter?
In the sharpshooter.
It's on that level, but he's making like crazy faces. He's kind of playing into it a little bit.
And he has that Jerry Lawler, that psychotic, is low key Jokerish. Yeah. Because that's he is the son of his daddy.
And they're referencing that. JR and King are referencing that, but King's like, he's like, that ain't my son, but I just think he's a great wrestler. You know, and he's handsome as hell, too.
Yeah. JR, your parents won't even claim you.
Yeah, but that's definitely... And what was that for? That was the first light heavyweight title? Was that what it was?
That was the tournament. And Taka Michinoku, I believe he would eventually be the winner because this was ongoing for months.
I thought this was the end because don't they give him the belt at the end of it? Remember, they were posing with it.
Was it the end?
Yeah, because after the match, when he wins... spoiler alert, Pat Patterson, Briscoe, and some other guy that looks like a Wish.com Vince McMahon come out. I
Tony
think
Gurria.
Somebody. I apologize. I'm probably disrespecting a legend, but they come out and present him the belt. And there's all like the Japanese like presses there too.
You weren't as high as me, I guess.
I guess not. Not at that point.
Or you can handle yours better.
Come into the fucking Thunderdome, Steve, and see what happens, you know?
Well, hey. On December 7th, 1999, we're great at segues. In 1999, December 7th, Notorious B.I.G. posthumously releases Born Again. And that's the one with Notorious we are. Notorious.
And that's the one with his baby mama, too, right? What's her name?
No, that's the one with Puffy and Lil' Kim.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I had this. I'd have to see the actual album art, but I'm positive either. Yeah, okay.
And it's the one with Eminem doing Dead Wrong. You're dead wrong.
Okay, yeah, that was a Doherty special. I know we got that in rotation. I remember that.
That's one of Slim Shady's best verses, man, because he came in that bit smooth. But also in 99, Juvenile releases the G Code. And I think this is the one that follows 400 Degrees. But the release on this was, I got that fire. I got that fire. Girl, holla at your boy if you want that Oscar Ma. I got that fire. I got the fire. Girl, holla at your boy if you want that Oscar Ma.
Juvenile, dude. He's still kind of active. I was listening to. I mean, I don't know how old the music was, but he was on some like West Coast dudes shit that was pretty recent. And I mean, we all love Back That Thing Up. It's one of the most legendary times in rap. I remember buying that. I had no business buying it, but I loved it.
That's timeless. That's like somebody's grandma going out to the dance floor on some Frankie Beverly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's grandmas that are like our age at this point. Oh, that's our shit. Girl, come on,
girl,
Cheryl.
Twerk it, girl. I'm on 10 on this in a positive way, Steve.
I'm on 10 on this, yeah. Come on, Cheryl Lynn.
Oh, my God. I can't believe we about to do this. And then they just drop in on it, just do a thunderclap on it. I love that.
Effortless. But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or takeaways, sir?
I mean, you just blew my mind thinking about grandmas twerking to Juvenile. So shout out to all those AARP ladies listening to that. Just shout out Steve G. I've had Steve at my house for a week, and it's been magical. So it's been great having a friend. If you're too young to know this, make sure you hang out with your friends, reconnect, because it's awesome. I miss this guy. So shout out to Steve G.
Don't take genuine people for granted.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like this guy, I've known about him since junior high. We formally knew each other in high school, but we like really got to know each other in college, and in Bowling Green, and like there was some separation because like you moved, I moved, and
we always talk on the phone like once every 3 years.
Yeah,
you know.
And then like when I would come to California, we would kick it, man. But yeah, dude, like I just feel like the universe puts people in your life for a reason, man. Like, we were one locker separated all 4 years of college. We rode on the back of the bus all through high school up until we could drive.
Yep.
Because we were like, fuck this shit. We're better than you fucking...
I got to get this Concord lifestyle getting popping.
Yep.
With that nice Iowa CD player. You remember that thing?
You dirty bus drivers, bus riders. Yeah, dude, we were popping with those fucking portables. Yeah. But yeah, man, back of the bus, back of classes, whatever class we were in the back of that motherfucker, reciting South Park, what happened on Raw the previous night, Drew Carey, and that's another thing I want to get to, man. Like, all of the shit we talk about now, like, that's what, in my opinion, that's what sparked our friendship, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because, like, we started talking about that stuff, and, like, you know, yeah, you were a fat guy. I was the black guy. They've heard the theme song. But, like, I didn't care about that shit. Yeah. I saw the person in here. It's like, dude, this guy talks about the same shit that I'm into, that I, like, research, and I'm, like, a stan about. And, like, every time we would link up in our teenage years, oh, man, Matt Foley, fan down the river, man, like Drew Carey and Mimi, man, they fucking crazy, right? Man, did you see what Stone Cold did? And it's like, dude, like, still to this day, man, like, that's why this shit is, like, effortless, man. Like,
it ain't work. Yeah, that's for sure.
It ain't work, man. And, dude, I've been spending this holiday with my friend and his wife, man, and you know, something to be thankful for is this guy's a friend, man.
Hell yeah, dude, I love it. Yeah. 90s powers activate.
Yeah, man. I'm thankful. Yeah, Kendra, man, she did her thing.
Hell
like,
yeah.
She put it down, man, and
I may be obese someday again. It might happen, Steve, but it's gonna be because I'm eating good food. I'm glad you got to experience that.
No, man, like y'all can talk each other out of it.
Talk
each other off the cliff.
We got the equipment. We'll keep it popping for you. We'll keep it sexy.
Yeah.
Do you got anything else other than just this love fest?
I think Mr. Show was a great show. We got to see that.
Was that 5-inch taint?
That was not 5-inch taint. I saw this one when y'all went to bed.
Okay.
It was the eat rotten fruit from a shitty tree. And like, I just want to call attention to it because it was a great show. Like, David Cross is a legend, man.
When we talked about when we watched that other one, how they wrote it and weaved everything together seamlessly so that the whole show is like one giant transition into another sketch is, I don't know how they did it, and I'd love to know the inner workings of that. It's so amazing.
Yeah, and they had an ensemble cast, you know, like other comedians, they had a hand in the writing, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Well, yeah, dude. Well, I loved it. I wish we could do everyone in person, but it's been great, and we're gonna keep pushing these episodes out.
Keep on pushing. Like Curtis Mayfield, goddammit. And please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Tell your sister, I got that fire. I got the fire, girl. Holla at your boy if you want that Oscar Ma. Check out Food Show Fanatics and Crushgasm every Wednesday with Kendra. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s.
That's a huge bitch.